Well, if it feels like protein is suddenly everywhere, I feel like everywhere you look, like you want it in your lattes. It seems like it's everywhere. The new 2025-2030 dietary guidelines for Americans highlight protein as essential for energy, strength, and muscle health. Joining us now is registered dietitian and sports nutrition expert Krissy from Herbalife to break it all down. Krissy, thanks for coming on ARC this morning.
Thank you. I'm so excited to be here.
Yeah, all right. So first off, why is protein getting this big, needed attention? I feel like everywhere I go, I see something about protein.
Absolutely. Protein is everywhere and for good reason. And I believe that can also make it a little confusing. So at Herbalife, I am the director of sports performance and nutrition education. So I talk about protein all the time with my athletes that we sponsor worldwide, and on and off the field, they need to know about it. And so do everyday people. And so the reason that protein is becoming this big deal is because it works for everybody. It doesn't matter your age, your gender, your activity level. We all need protein, and it goes beyond muscle repair and growth, although that is wonderful and much needed. We have so many body systems that rely on protein, and I think people are starting to catch up that more protein can actually help you feel better.
Yeah, and you and I were talking right before here, before we're in the commercial break, that everybody's a little bit different. Bodies are different and stuff. So how do we know how much a person actually needs for protein, each individually? How do we find that out?
Oh, that is such a good question. It can get really tricky, so I understand if there's some confusion. And in general, we have, as a registered dietitian, I have some fancy formulas I can do to make sure you're getting the protein you need on an individual basis, and that's always helpful. And we can't assume that everyone has access to a registered dietitian. So a great way to think about it, and this is Herbalife's global nutrition philosophy as well, is to make sure that 30% of your total daily intake is coming from protein. That works out, if you feel like doing a little math, that works out to about 1 gram per kilogram of lean body mass. If you don't have that information, though, you can just go ahead and follow the 30% of your total daily intake.
30%. All right. So I'm way overboard here because I'm carnivore lifestyle. So we went all carnivore. So I had 8 eggs this morning. I'll be working on some steak later on. There you go, eggs right there. Yeah, what is, in fact, you have some props there with you, food. What are great protein things that we should be having?
Absolutely. So one thing that I think is going to be the first easy tip is to familiarize yourself with where you can find protein. Nature is serving us very well. We need protein, so you can find it in a lot of different foods. And again, like you were mentioning, you can find it in a latte now, so you don't have to go far to find protein. It's both plant and animal sources, which makes it great for anyone. So eggs are a wonderful way to get them in. And then we have yogurt here, so dairy products. Of course, animal products like meats, fish, poultry, dairy, you're going to find it there. But you're also going to find it in things like some nuts, seeds, beans, legumes, which is just a fancy word for in the bean family. You can even find it in some chips. So they're everywhere. I think just trying to find some ways that you can keep those items in your house so that it's always available to you.
All right, maybe sometimes the best way for me to get rid of or any of our viewers is all right, I could have this Twinkie here for a snack, or what's something else I could swap that out with, for a snack for protein?
That is such a great question. And if we think, okay, why do I want this Twinkie? Well, 1, I'm probably really hungry. I might have gone a little too long without eating. And 2, it tastes good. So we want to try to replicate that. And one thing is to make sure that you're eating throughout the day. Don't go long periods of time without eating. And by long, I mean you should be eating every 2 to 4 hours. Doesn't mean you have to have a big meal every 2 to 4 hours, but you need to be eating something. So having some snacks can be really good if you want to get that crunch. Or having a shake. A lot of protein shakes have a really wonderful taste now because the industry realizes people aren't going to eat it if it doesn't taste good. So that's an easy on-the-go way that you can add it in as well.
Is it good protein? I talked about the lattes and stuff. You see the protein popping up in these things. I've seen protein cereal, protein donuts. Is that good protein?
So there really isn't a bad protein. All proteins are going to be helpful. They're built on something called an amino acid, and all the different amino acids build our proteins in our body. Some amino acids are essential meaning it's essential that we get them from our diet because our body just can't make it on their own. Now, when you add them to things that maybe be higher in sugar or higher in fat, we just have to think, what's the whole picture of what I'm eating? So if you're choosing some Greek yogurt, that's sweet, it has some sugars in it, maybe you add some fruit on top like I did here, versus having a donut that had some protein added to it, we just have to think, what am I getting other than protein? And that's when it can get a little sticky.
All right, well, Krissy,
With a donut.
let me ask you this. You look like you're in shape. You look like you work out. I'm assuming you work out. You're at Herbalife. You told me that you right before we came on, you eat just about anything. How do people like maybe connect with you or learn from Herbalife? They want to better themselves. Protein could be the right avenue for them. How do we connect with you to learn more?
Oh, I love that. Thank you so much. Yes, I truly believe that all foods fit. It's really about learning what they do, how they work for us, and how we can fit them in. So if you want to learn more, if you want to work with a dietitian like myself, you can go to herbalife.com. We have a ton of recipes and resources for food and for shakes, and they can help generate some ideas for you. And then you can also find information for dietitians like myself. Really might depend on your insurance or your area, but you can find dietitians in your area or call your insurance and say, hey, do you have an in-network dietitian I can chat with? And they can definitely help everybody out so that you can feel good when you're eating and after you're eating. That's always my goal, that we're enjoying the process and we're enjoying the afterwards too.
Absolutely, especially as now, coming off towards the end of winter. Everyone looks good on the beach or whatever you're doing for the summer trip. Krissy Latner, thank you so much for coming on this morning and sharing with us.
Thank you, Aaron. It's good to meet you.
Absolutely.